Yeah, with that patient who's in the hospital, they've probably never done anything
Yes,
to deserve not being treated.
true.
They're they're just trying to get, like, I'm sure they're suffering and they need to be taken care of. And now, while at the same time I understand why there would be a strike, because
Because the government doesn't listen without that.
yeah,
During COVID, they got an ordinance. What had happened? People were dying. There was no oxygen. There were all those problems, and cylinders were short, medicines were short. So at that time, the government got an ordinance because the relatives, whoever died, their relatives would come and beat up the doctors.
Yeah.
So at that time, they got an ordinance. An ordinance, the ordinance life of an ordinance is only 6 months. After that, it dies down on its own. Doctors time and again have been demanding a central law which makes them protected, in the sense, just because a death happens or something happens in a hospital, the patient's relatives and cannot come and beat me up. So any government for the last so many years, nobody has found time to get that law to protect doctors at their workplace. See, so there are two safeties. One, what the anger is that the rape and murder of this trainee doctor. But what is also being demanded by the Resident Doctors Association is protection. One is safety, one is protection. So till now, these politicians have not had the time to make that law. Yesterday only, after all this enrage, they have said that if any doctor is beaten up or anything he faces, within 6 hours, the police will have to lodge an FIR. But does it make the doctors safe? No. You are saying lodging of an FIR, but why can't you make a law?
how difficult it is it to get something like that done? Not just passing the law, obviously that's how it makes it official, but for hospitals to employ security guards, or if you go to a nightclub, there's like 7 to 10 bouncers. Is it difficult to get people to get bouncers, let's say, at a hospital? Because I'm sure if you have enough bouncers in a hospital, normal people with average build can't fight them.
True.
This is what I'm thinking from a very common sense perspective.
Exactly. See, where there is a will, there is a way. What happens is that these government hospitals, like the principal has a fixed job. Once you've joined the government, you are there for next 30, 35 years. Nobody's going to touch your position. Politicians will only provide for things which interest them, like vote bank politics. But the common man, the taxpayer, he is never a vote bank. He or she is never a vote bank. Government needs are not looked into by these people in power. So if watchmen means you need funds, they will crunch you where funds are concerned. Or you have to, for them to engage watchmen, first is the provision of funds, and also if you want to recruit class 4 staff for security, you need to have those vacancies. So the vacancies and all, that's why I said, where is the IS officer, the medical secretary? Medical secretary is the one who would be looking after all the medical colleges in the state of West Bengal. Now, if you are talking of Kolkata. So, why was this? I am sure file would have been moved. I have worked in the government. I know that if my post office, I know there is a lot of cash in the post office. People come and deposit. I will say I need a security guard. I will make a proposal, send it to my higher up, and it will be sanctioned that yes, 2 security guards should be there. So, issue is why, if the proposal was sent from the medical college to the department, that is the health minister. Who heads it? The health minister. Approval will have to come from the health minister. And we are keeping quiet. We have not tasked the health minister of Karnataka till now. Nobody has called him and said, why were there no security guards over there? Why there were not CCTV cameras?
You mean West Bengal, I think you said Karnataka.
No, I said Kolkata.
You said Karnataka.
Achha, I said Karnataka. Oh,
I thought we're talking about... No, it's fine. I just thought you were talking about something.
No. So, Kolkata we are talking about, West Bengal. So, if there are no security guards, that's why the anger is with the principal, that you've been there for so many years, or you're heading the medical college, but there was shortage of, if you are having women staff working in the night, abroad they have that, because somewhere the campuses are huge. In the night, these resident doctors or lady doctors have to go from one campus to another, one department to another. So they have women guards, male guards to escort them.
Right.
But in India, there is no such provision. And that is why they are beaten up also, because they don't have bouncers, as you said.
Yeah.
So a country which can give more than lakhs of crores for subsidy, for free food. Today I was just reading in Maharashtra, 2.5 crore women are going to get 1,500 rupees per month, because elections are around the corner and you've not provided them jobs. So these reveries which you call, the freebies which you call, the government has money to give for these things, because they are going to give them vote and they will come back to power. But the middle class or the professional class is not a vote bank. So nobody is bothered about them. So I hold the politicians responsible. And now it is these politicians who are coming and doing dharnas, morchas, rasta roko, because they want to be seen. That, oh, we are standing with
PR.
you. Yeah, it's PR. But why did you not provide these things in the hospital? That is the question.
So from what you're telling me, it's that there is a lack of infrastructure. There is everything takes too long. Like if I decide, if I'm the principal of a medical college, and if I decide I need these things in my college or in my campus, I will have to go through several layers before it finally happens, and it may not happen also.
It may not happen.
And this is a pattern which is not just with medical colleges. Anything that I think it's an India problem, you would say, that things take too long, which will bring me to the next point. After the crime has been committed and when it goes to court, it will take anywhere between, 10 years, 5 to 10 years.
Nirbhaya case, the rapists got, they were finally hanged after 11 years.
Yeah.
And you said India problem. If you see a very small thing, you must be reading on and off all the time that train was going and there was no railway crossing. There was no crossing, and a bus or a truck just banged into a train and people died. So here is a country which doesn't have, crossings, where you don't have barricades to stop the passenger vehicles from going. Now only after all the awareness, and I'm grateful to the social media, because a lot of newspapers, they will not write it because they get the DAVP grants, they get the advertisements from the government. But it is the common man who's now actually running the thing and exposing the government that, look, this has happened because of your folly. So many train accidents are happening. So many things like that. So yes, you will not get security. You will not get so many things, because the government is not interested. Proposals are sent, but they are rejected. And even to employ, even stationery in a government office, if you want to buy stationery, it will come through the proper way. So definitely this hospital was running on short staff. Why should I talk about that? Why did she have to work 32 hours?
Yeah.
That's a big question. Where are there no labor norms? Are there not 8-hour shift?
Yeah.
So that itself was wrong. Had she been abroad, it would have not happened. But in India, it's like that. You see the cops also. They don't go home for 24 hours, 36 hours. So we don't have, chalta hai attitude.
Yeah.
But I don't hold only the government responsible. I hold you and I also responsible, because we feel we resign to this type of system. If we start questioning them, we start saying no. But we don't.